many I've actually bought today. This is J&J. I have bought $20,000 here of J&J, 135 shares. I can't hear you. No sound. Let me just double check. There was no sound apparently. There was no sound. I apologize. Okay, I apologize. There was no sound. I just realized that. Okay, we'll start that again. I apologize for that. If you've just tuned in, we've got the Tesla earnings, and it's a very, very big evening. I've just bought and doubled my position of Tesla. Bought in at 239, and we are up on it already a couple of percent from that position. And it's great to have you here. Welcome, everybody. We're going to have a big heart-to-heart with all our team in a minute. And welcome, everybody. Thanks for all the comments. No sound. I can't believe it. Missing all of the intro. There, you got me back now. It's back. Yes, it's back indeed. So we've got the Tesla earnings in 1 hour from now, but already we've got information out, and we can see how the price of Tesla dropped. I was expecting that. I've been holding back for 3 months. I trimmed off after the last earnings, and I've just bought back at 239. Absolutely back in with a good position. But what I want to share with you, with two things we want to talk about. First of all, I want to share with you this position. You will probably fall over when I share with you this position. I spent all day researching and looking into Johnson & Johnson, the dividend king of all dividend stocks. Who's buying this? Why is it down? Institutions have been buying this, and I am paying less than institutions, unless they've got some special discount, of course. But look how much J&J I bought today. You're about to fall over, but I believe this is the next best thing to do. Here we go. Look at this. $20,000, $135 shares. It's 34%. Predominantly now my portfolio is J&J and Coca-Cola. We are moving into a very, very difficult time. We are moving into volatility. Even Tesla is experiencing that, hence why Tesla is down so much. But look how much today I've bought of J&J. It's dropped again today, and it's down like 15% in a year. I'm only down 2%. Bought a lot of J&J. We've got the earnings declared. We've got the earnings yesterday. I covered the earnings, and the earnings for J&J was good. They were up. Their balance sheet is absolutely golden. Their dividend is increasing over $1.19. It'll be more than that. That was what the last quarter was per share. And that is a serious amount of J&J. But I'm not concerned. Absolutely not concerned. If we look at it, it looked like it was performing, setting up a support here. Now, if you look at it, you've got to remember when you look at the earnings ratio here, if you look at the earnings ratio, let me just bring it up a second. This is out of date always, remember. We're actually running around 12%. 12 earnings ratio. It is really oversold right now. This is out of date. So you've got to remember that. We are running around about the 12 earnings ratio. So it's incredibly oversold. Institutions have been increasing their allocation. They've been buying more at a higher price than I have paid for it today. I've been buying it all the way down here, 20 shares every time it dropped, and I just kept buying and buying. And I think we're forming a bottom. Now, I don't know, of course, if we formed a bottom. I've got no idea. But the rate of return on this one, I'm currently, I think, somewhere in the region. Let me just do a quick calculation. quick calculation, something like 136, 138 in total. 138 times 138 times 120. 165 a quarter times by 4. I'm on $662 a year in dividends. So now, no matter how you buy that, with or without margin, once we get a 10% bounce on this, which we will likely see, I believe that 225, 215, 225 is the target price on this. It's really only the talcum powder thing that's hanging over J&J's head right now. Everything else is good, and they increased their expectations as well for next quarter. I just think if we are going into a recession, if we are going to get more problems in the Middle East, J&J is absolutely the way to go with the price it is at the moment. So I don't think you can buy too much of it. It isn't going to go down that much, and if you can load up on it and keep buying when it goes a little bit lower, so if you can get to down 1% or on a wash by just keep doubling and doubling, and this isn't financial advice, but this is basically what I'm doing. If you can get down to a wash right now, then it's only upwards from there. So anyway, that's what I have done. I've also bought Tesla when it went to 239. CVX is, sorry, not CV, CVX. CVX is also, Chevron is also going up. So I've got some money to take off the top there. There's other things. And so I feel very confident. And my Tesla's looking great. Really glad I bought that. I'm just down 1.5 now. I was down nearly 10%. I'm down just 1.5 on my Tesla. Super weighted, off balance, much. Super weighted, off balance, much. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Zed Hink. I'm off balance completely. You're absolutely right. But I've done that on purpose to sell probably in January after tax season, and literally just halve that. But the point is, as I was having a conversation a few minutes ago with Sensei, basically, I was in at 165 or 170. Once I start selling, and I will start to look to do it in December, if not January, for tax losses. I'm basically selling the ones I bought at 160 and replacing those with ones I bought at 152. Excuse me. The same as I did with Virgin Galactic. I'm lowering my averages, but then I'm going to sell the ones that are basically at a wash, or if not a slight loss, to replace those with the ones I bought at 152. Because I need to bring the portfolio back into balance, and that's how I can do that. So when you've got a great company that has a great balance sheet, has plenty of cash, more than their debts, you've got to buy it, and it's as simple as that. Anyway, Tesla's looking great right now. I was 10% down. I'm now just 2% down. Or beg your pardon. Let me just go back to Tesla. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Where am I? Tesla. I know you're looking at it, but I'm not. Right, yes. I was 10% down on Tesla. I'm 1% down now. I just bought at 239. And we're at 247 now, so this is a position I can now hold. Or if I need to raise some funds and stuff like that, I can sell some and what have you. But doing very well now. The Tesla earnings are just round the corner, looking good. This is my Tesla position. Let me share with you. I just bought here down at 239, and there you go. I was down 10%. I'm now down just 1. So 9% improvement by doing that. And since I bought it, I've gone up like 3% just on those I bought. So yeah, good. Very, very good. Very, very happy with that. If I need to raise some funds, if we get a 5-10% profit, I probably will take some. Why not? Sell a couple at least anyway. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see how we do. Don't necessarily need to do that right now. Anyway. Quite a day, I must say. More problems in the Middle East. as we speak, down go the markets. Oh, indeed, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. So now what we're going to do, and now we've got everyone together, is everybody here? Yes, we've got 35. Could everybody smash the like button? Let me know you're here. If you are new to the channel, click subscribe and ring the bell. And then I just want a conversation with the team, with the family, with the members. So smash the like. So here is between me and you and the members. This is what's been happening today, and change of policy for me. I'd already hinted at this, but it's been a very, very difficult day. This is what I have to say about this. Let me share with you my Virgin Galactic, or before I share with you my Virgin Galactic positions, we're watching Tesla. This is what's happening. As you know, everything I do here is 100% honest. I share with you absolutely everything. You see everything. I post on my social media accounts before I trade what I'm doing ahead of time. Who could be more open and honest and transparent? It's impossible to be more honest and transparent. However, I take a lot of hate from the trolls and stuff like that. Not from my members, obviously, my team, my family, and all the rest of it. And it's not even 1%. It's probably less than 1%, to be perfectly honest. It's a small amount compared to how many subscribers that we have now, over 11,000 and so on and so forth. It's hardly anything. However, everyone knows that I'm bullish on Virgin Galactic. Everyone knows that I'm talking about Virgin Galactic a lot, and there are plenty of people who are trying to discredit everything I say. They're trying to make out what I'm saying is untrue, trying to make out that I'm manipulating the market. And now it's gone too far. It's gone too far that everything now has to change. Today on Reddit and on StockTwits, idiots, and I'm going to use the word absolute idiots, liars, disgusting human beings of the lowest form. They are taking what I said, and they, for example, I said this morning, I've bought lots more J&J, and I haven't sold Virgin Galactic. And I haven't. Here is my Virgin Galactic position. Exactly what it was yesterday when you last saw me live, or the day before. Here is my position, 4,216. Now, they're probably sitting there ranting at the screen. You had 20,000 shares, so of course you've sold some shares. Yes, I did have 20,000 shares. That was about a week ago, or 5-6 days ago, whatever it was. And I said I was selling them because I sold to take profits, to trim back, because I'd overweighted myself, just like I have with J&J. But that wasn't today. That was a week ago. Things have changed since then. I'm back at my 4,000. I wasn't going to have 20,000. That's massively overweight. I can't afford 20,000 shares. It was all on margin anyway. I mean, I did it to lower my average as it popped up, trim off the top, so sell the higher ones for a loss, or if a wash, and have, or in my case, it was actually a profit this time, but hold at 4,000. But now 4,000 at 160, what is it now? 166, isn't it? Something like that, because I was buying many at 150. So now I'm in a much better position, right? Got more shares than I had before at a lower price. Right thing to do. So I posted that. This morning I posted, I've not sold any Virgin Galactic because I wanted everyone to know that I hadn't sold Virgin Galactic because Virgin Galactic was going down today. So again, I want to support people, be honest, be open, share with people the fact that Virgin Galactic is going down and I haven't sold. Well, of course, these disgusting parasites, and I'm using the worst. I want to swear, but I'm not going to swear, or I'm not going to lower myself, but I am going to call them disgusting parasites because they're trying to put fear into people, saying, Martyn has sold, he's lying, he's making it up. I'm not even going to show you the posts. You can go and look yourself. They're on my StockTwits, they're on Reddit. They took screenshots and highlighted it, saying, look, see, he did sell. They used the post from 5 days ago when I had 20,000 and went back down to 4. I said I sold those, and they're going, look, see, he said he hasn't sold, and here's a screenshot of him selling from 20,000 to 4,000. Right? So they're trying to take the bits they want and put it out of context. Now, actually, I don't know if these are just disgusting parasites, or they are just stupid, ignorant people that actually haven't even bothered reading the whole post and following the whole journey. I actually think a lot of it is that. And this isn't one person, this is lots of people, right? I think a lot of that, because people don't read. When I did the thumbnail of "I am out" on a thumbnail, people said Martyn Lucas is out of Virgin Galactic. What I was actually saying was I was out because I was taking a break, but they couldn't be bloody bothered to read and watch the video, could they? They couldn't be bothered. So they had to say stuff like that. So anyway, the point is they're doing it because they know they're going to get short squeezed. They know their capitulation is round the corner. They know they're going to lose their money. So all they can do is discredit me as I'm growing every day and improving my portfolio, buying lower and lower prices, increasing our YouTube channel, and everything is growing. They can't stand it. So they have to come on and be rude and offensive and make up stories. Then they went on, and they were saying Martyn Lucas doesn't even own these shares. These aren't his positions at all, and he's paid to say this. What an absolute load of rubbish. What an absolute load of rubbish. First of all, I'm a tiny YouTube channel when it comes to the scale of things. Nobody is going to pay me to talk about stocks. What an absolute rubbish. What an absolute load of trash, okay? But all over Reddit and StockTwits, they're saying Martyn Lucas was paid to say this. He doesn't even own the bloody shares. What an absolute bloody pile of rubbish. You can see my actual portfolio. You can see my actual account, my actual money. Here is my position today. I'm just going to go back to my main screen. You can see I'm down massively today, down 3%. Down massively because I've been buying J&J all the way down. Now, some people cannot understand that. They cannot understand because they're stupid. They cannot understand how could you buy 20,000 shares and then when it pops up, sell them and then you're back at 4,000. And what is the point of all of that? Why don't you just hold it? Because at the end of the day, you cannot control the movement of the market. No one can do that. No one can control the movement of the market. Absolutely impossible. You can't manipulate the market or control the market unless I've got millions of viewers and they're all buying millions of shares. And that's not the case, is it? So I can't manipulate the market. You can't manipulate the market. But also, the reality is the stock market is extremely volatile, very specifically Virgin Galactic and Tesla. And particularly, we have a war right now. So it's extremely volatile. So if you have got 4,000 shares and that's your allocation, which is what I've said time and time again, and you know that 150 in your calculation is the belief of the bottom, which is what I said, and I was right exactly to the cent. You go all in with cash, with margin. I don't care. That's what I did. Got 20,000 shares. It went up and up and up and up. I took some profit, and look what's happened today. It's gone back down again. It's gone back down again. But does it affect me? Does it hurt me? No. Because what did I do? I sold it when it went up. I'm now up, still up, 3.36%. Because I sold the 20,000 or 16,000 for a profit. Now, they're saying, but he didn't make much money. He didn't do very much. What was the point? The point was I had shares originally at $35, $15, $10, $5. These are the shares that are being sold first, you flipping idiots, right? These are the ones that were being sold first. So on paper, I posted losses, but in fact, In fact, overall, I'm in a better position because as it popped up, I trimmed those, posted tax losses for the benefit of my tax so I won't pay any profits on my ultimate gains with Virgin Galactic, lowered my averages, got the more shares than I had before. If you remember, when I sold out at 470, I had none. I got back in again. Now I have 4,216 shares and I'm up 3.36, and that's real profit. That's real gains. Okay? So of course, I'm not going to hold 20,000 shares when I know it's going to go back down again. I said it would. I know we're going to get a short squeeze. I know capitulation is coming, but that doesn't mean to say in between things are going to move. You've got to manage your risk and manage your money. So, today I got extremely flipping angry with these people, and it's the last time they're going to get me angry because this is what I'm doing as of now. I will continue to be live every day. I will continue to share my trades before I make them, unlike you. I will continue to share how much money I have, how many trades I have, how many shares I have, unlike you. I will be live and can be seen and be viewed and judged and checked, unlike you. I will continue to do that. However, if you go on StockWits, Reddit, pick bits of information, take them out of context, say he never said he would sell and he has, and that was 5 days ago, comparing that to a statement I made today about selling. If you do that, if you say things like Martin Lucas doesn't even own these shares, it's all a lie, he's being paid to manipulate the stock, you are a disgusting human being. And I no more have anything to do with you. And this is what's going to happen. Up to this point, I've been replying to everybody. Every single idiot. Every idiot who hasn't got the brain they were born with, hasn't actually probably got a portfolio, isn't actually going anywhere, is a complete parasite and a complete pain in the backside. I have got no more time for you. My time is more valuable than this. So this is what's going to happen. From now on, if you make a comment which is blatantly obvious untrue, the whole world can see it. It's not a question. I have a question. Can you help me? It's just lies and manipulation and so on. I am going to mute you so I'll never see you again. I won't block you, because you can carry on ranting in the background, because the more people watch my social media, the more money I'm going to make in the future when I finally get monetized on X and those other places. So I'm not going to block you. You can carry on saying any crap you like, but I am not going to see it. I'm going to mute you. I don't care what you have to say. You're not worth anything. You are a complete piece of trash. Now, I thought until a couple of days ago that ignorant people could actually be won over by being honest and open. And some people actually can. We've proved it. But the majority can't. If you're born stupid, you'll die stupid. If you're a liar and a scammer, you'll always be a liar and a scammer. If you're a failure and a useless piece of waste of space, you'll always will be. Because look what's happening in the Middle East. People continue not to listen to each other. They continue to fight. They continue to just kill each other and think that's a solution. It's never been a solution. It never will be a solution. And things are never going to change. I've come to that conclusion today that evil people will always be evil. Horrible people will always be horrible. And I am not going to have it in my life anymore. So from now on, I am members only on all my streams, because I only want to talk to real human beings who are decent and loving and intelligent and caring and worth my time. And anyone who talks absolute crap on my social media will be just hidden and muted. You won't be blocked. You can rant and rave all you like, but you won't get any more communication from me. You won't learn anything. You won't know what's going on. You won't be part of this community. You can sit there and rot, as far as I'm concerned, because I've come to the conclusion that evil, horrible, stupid people are always the same and they're not going anywhere. So they can carry on and rant and rave in their own pool of crap. I want no more to do with it. I am absolutely furious today that I've had to deal with this, but no more. I'm not doing it anymore. So I've said it once. I've done it once. I've explained it once. That is it. And that's all I have to say on that. I wanted to discuss it with you. I thought about making a video, and I thought, nah, sod it. I can't be bothered. I'm not trying to get views or ratings on any of this. I just want to talk to my family, talk to the team, and tell them what's going on. So all of my comments on YouTube is the only way anyone can communicate with me, because it's filtered as members only. I won't even see them, the comments and the ones. And as soon as I see something on StockTwits or X that is false, that is a lie, that is a manipulative, that is nasty, that is rude, I just hide you, mute you. I don't block you. You can carry on ranting all you like, but I'm just going to mute you. So I don't see it anymore. I don't see it. I've had enough of it. I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. So for the benefit of my members, real human beings, real decent people, I have not, and I repeat, have not sold any of my Virgin Galactic since I told you I'd sold my 20,000. I'm back at 4,200. In fact, I'm up 216. I'm up on my investment by 4%. I don't need to sell now because I'm not concerned of it going any lower. If it goes lower, I will add some more. And that's what I've done. I've posted losses, so from a tax point of view, I'll be in a good position. And I'm not paid by anyone to say this, other than what I earn from YouTube and memberships. Not paid to manipulate stock at all. And also, I did take profits from Virgin Galactic before, not today, and I did buy J&J. I've done a lot of research today, and I've actually bought 20,000.
Preach, Martyn, preach.
Thank you very much, Seth Houston. I bought $20,000 worth. Look, biggest position ever. 20,000. Where did the money come from? Well, I took profits, and you know how the rest works. Okay, so there it is. That's my statement for today. All right. Anyway, we've got 36 minutes. I just bought more Tesla as well. Ultimately, when it comes to where's my Tesla gone? Lost myself. There we go. When it comes to investing, this is probably the most important thing I've ever said when it comes to being investing. As an investor or a trader, swing trader, whatever camp you put yourself in, at the end of the day, you cannot change the direction of the market. If things go up, they go up. If they go down, they go down. You can't stop that. You have no control over that. So all you can do is best position yourself. And I have always been of the mindset and the mentality to be about digging the ditches, building the foundations, never worrying about the tinsel and the frills on the top, the foundations. My job, even if I'm losing money, even if my portfolio is going down, if I can increase the amount of shares I've got at lower and lower prices, consistently lowering my averages, consistently acquiring more shares of great companies at lower and lower prices, it is absolutely inevitable. At some point, it'll start going up, and then you can trim like it did earlier this year, and so on and so forth. Now we're going to do it again consistently. I have bought today more shares of J&J than I've ever owned before, because I have more profits. I have more money now than ever before, because I'm growing my portfolio. I'm growing my YouTube channel at prices I couldn't have bought when I came into the market 2.5 years ago. So of course I bought more. So it doesn't matter that I'm down. It doesn't matter at all. I'm buying the greatest companies at the best prices. Keep doing that over and over again. I think now I've actually got over $1,000. I think actually somewhere in the region of $1,500 a year now in dividends alone, in solid companies at 2.5-year low prices like J&J, Coca-Cola, and so on. So even if I bought absolutely nothing and did absolutely nothing, Not only are those going to rise in time, which they will, because they're massively oversold and they're still expanding their company base and their profits are going up and their margins are improving, and innovating, and their debts and so on are in good standing. The dividends alone, the amount I have, and when someone says to me, what's the point of buying Coca-Cola? I think someone said that to me once. What's the point of buying Coca-Cola? Well, that depends how many shares you own. Doesn't do Warren Buffett any harm. If you own millions of shares of Coca-Cola, you can live on the dividends. And isn't that all you try to do it for anyway? Anyway, let me read some of these comments a minute. Let me read some of these comments. Right, I'm just going to move the comments up here just temporarily. Because I want to leave the timer on the screen. Signor Piloto Holt, Stockwitz is a cesspit. It's useful, though, to promote my YouTube channel. It's just, you're right, it's full of idiots. Damn idiot, says Mike. Haters, indeed, catamaran, both. Martyn, calm, my brother. We know you're honest. Yes, thank you. And they know they can get to you. I know how you feel. They do know how they can get to me, but not anymore. Martyn, I think I missed something. It's okay, brother. Calm. Thank you. Martyn, you are a good person. Look out for your blood pressure. The paramedic says, you're absolutely right. My blood pressure has been up recently. It's why I took a break, because of that. Not to be negative, but I think this war is going to be the end of our problems. Is going to be the end of our problems if Russia and China. I agree with you. I agree with you, Mike. What worries me more than anything else, it does seem that through history, all we try to do is solve problems by bombing each other, and we don't seem to learn. And people are just angry. Have you noticed, by the way? Have you noticed that in the Middle East right now, all the rioting that's going on in those countries seems to be young men? Where are all the women? Where are all the men at work? They just seem to be young men who probably haven't got a job. And that seems to be the case more often than not when you see a riot in London. It tends to be young men running around throwing bottles at stuff. Why are you throwing bottles at stuff? It doesn't do anything. It just seems to me that people like to get angry and shout and scream and stuff like that. People are basically bad, I think. People cannot communicate. People are selfish, and they human beings. If I was an alien, I don't think I would want to invade land on Earth. They look at it and go, these people are idiots. Anyway. They are worse than hemorrhoids, says Francesco Santos. Have Tesla earnings been announced yet? They have been announced yet, but the earnings call doesn't start for 30 minutes. That's why the reaction was Tesla went down, and that's why I bought at $239 on Tesla. Anyway. Your post from today was about what you were trading today, and today you haven't sold shares of Virgin Galactic, if I'm correct. Correct, T.O. Roll. So that's the misunderstanding, that he thought you never sold. T.O. Roll, he wasn't misunderstood at all, because what he did was he basically didn't read the post from today. He's picking a post from 5 days ago and using that. There's no mistake. If whoever's doing that and then says and then makes videos on it on Reddit and everything else, and then says I'm sponsored and paid by people to say all this stuff, then no, there's no mistake. The person knew exactly what he was doing. There's loads of comments. They're all very rude and derogatory. Hey there, hi everyone, still on vacation, home in 2 days, I need to cut the grass. Yes, Fatso, they missed earnings estimate, but only by a few million. We are here for you, Martyn, says Mike. Signor Piloto Holt, thanks. 199, preach, Martyn, preach. New flight announced for Virgin Galactic. Fantastic. MSK, depends what Elon Musk says on the earnings, but don't think the market will like a miss. Well, it was already priced in. We've already had a massive drop on Tesla over the last few weeks. November 2nd flight window for Virgin Galactic. Very exciting. Piloto Holt. Darn Tootin. I'm not sure what that means. Hit the like button, please, everyone. 20,000 J&J. Wow. Interesting. Indeed. I have come to drop a like, Ed Spitzer. Netflix absolutely flying after earnings release. That's good for the market, but I'm not interested in Netflix. I mean, as a customer, yes, but not as an investor. Mike, there is so much economic value at stake with China right now. War with them would be crazy. Looking at what imported from them at ratios above 70%, says T.O. Roll. Hello, a man from Earth. 11th of November the 2nd. Thank you ever so much, Zach. I'm working. Great news. Fantastic. There we go. We got through all the comments there. Brilliant stuff. Now then, tomorrow, Sensei is here. Tomorrow, Sensei is back with the closing bell tomorrow and the closing bell on Friday. Okay? So I'm going to ask you now. He's doing the closing bell tomorrow, and he's doing the closing bell on Friday. So I'm going to ask you, if I get an 80% plus poll, I will do the opening bell. So would you like, Sensei will do the closing bell, like an opening bell tomorrow and Friday. If I get an 80% yes, then I'll do it. All right, I'll do it. I'll come back and do it. Okay, yes or no. You have got a closing bell, but I would like to keep things going. So there we go. Would you like an opening bell tomorrow and Friday? Yes or no? Okay. I agree, but look at what they are doing, says Mike. Then Apple need to be tanking. See how much they sell in China, says T.O. Roll. Right, Tesla, 27 minutes to go. I just more than doubled my position at 239. We're at 245 now. Very nice indeed. So, not that long to go now for Tesla earnings. Okay. Not that long to go. "26 minutes to go before the Tesla earnings." All right. So, let's see how many people we got with us right now. We've got 53. Good stuff. Things are looking good. I'm happy. I bought at a good price. It's gone up. I'm very happy with my trade. I've made some money, and very nice. Very nice indeed. I'm happy with that. I want to get back in Tesla. I've been out of Tesla for a while. Today, just before, as the earnings got announced, it dropped. It was a good drop. And I've made money on it. I'm only down 2% now, and I was down 10%. So I've gained an 8% position. So I'm very happy. All right, we got 56 watching. If you could tap the like button, that would be really helpful. Tap the like button and let us know you're here. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe and ring the bell. We are covering the Tesla earnings, and that would be absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for joining me. "24 minutes to go. And let's have a look. How many of you have voted? 13 votes. Thank you very much indeed. 85%. Brilliant. Okay. I wonder what Elon Musk will have to say this evening. Of course, we're very, very interested. What we want to hear, we want to hear that the Cybertruck is around the corner. We want to hear that full self-drive is around the corner. We want to hear full self-drive being licensed to Ford and Chrysler and all the other manufacturers. Of course, they can't have full self-drive, but they can have a watered-down version of it, like some sort of cruise control or what have you, some sort of assisted driving, but not full self-drive. That's only Tesla. We want to hear that they've licensed more of the chargers. We want to hear more of the solar coming online. We want to hear of Dojo as well, how that's improving, how the potential there for earnings. Of course, Dojo is being used now to educate the AI systems for full self-drive, but how else can it earn money? So there's lots to hear. There's lots to learn about from Elon Musk. So we're very excited about that. I remember Elon Musk saying a few quarters ago that if things were great, he wouldn't even be on the call. And of course, he's been on every call that I can remember. He may have not been on one, but I've covered every one for the last 2.5 years, and he's been there every time. But he's said repeatedly, if things were great and flying and no need, he wouldn't be there anymore. But he's always there. So I don't know what that says. Let's see if he's on the call today. Anyway, it's not that long to go now, just 22 minutes. Let's put your questions on the screen. You should just rest again tomorrow morning. Do you know what, Mike? I don't need to rest. What I need to do is take more exercise, get more fresh air. What I need to do is be with you. I enjoy this. What I need to do is, as I have done today, turn on the filters. Do not engage with anybody that's not a member. I'm only going to speak to members. I've got plenty of members. I mean, over, I think, 260 members now. So, you know. Oh, by the way, I've just realized something very, very important. Tesla bot. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is Bill in? Shin Dynasty. Doesn't look like he's in. Right, because it's Bill's birthday tomorrow. Now, as you know, I take October off. So this year's different. I couldn't afford to go back to the UK and have a proper holiday, so I'm at home. But it's Bill's birthday tomorrow. He's not in right now. But in fact, I'll text him. It's his birthday tomorrow, so we'll do his birthday in the morning. He's such a big supporter of the show. Let me just message him now. Come on in. I will celebrate your birthday in the morning. Okay. Let's see if he responds to that. I'm live now. Let's see if he comes on in, and we'll tell him. Right, 20 minutes ago, I want a Tesla bot when they're ready. Do you know what I think, James? I think that all shareholders over 5 shares should get a free one. I'm just saying. What do you reckon about that? Will Elon tell us again to sell the stock? Probably. If it goes up another 5-10%, he will. Yeah, probably. But I wanted to be back in again. I only had, how many did I have? I had 5 shares. I had 4 shares. I've now got, I've just bought 5. So I've got 9 now. And I'm down 1.3. I was down 10%. So I'm very happy. I'm going to get a Tesla bot. It might be a bit expensive though, mate. Just saying. Just saying, it might be a little bit expensive. I don't know. Anyway, my portfolio is doing well today, going up nicely. Virgin Galactic is going up after hours. Unfortunately, things aren't going well at the moment for a short squeeze. They're not. We needed today's because for a short squeeze. For a short squeeze, you need everything to go right, and green candles following green candles, and we didn't get one last night and today, but nothing to sort of shout about. It's going up now, I know, but we didn't break it last night. So as Sensei explained with his chart analysis, however, we are up 0.6% after hours tonight, so we're going back up again. I'm up 4% on it, so I'm in a good position. So but we've got a lot of momentum to do, and a lot more volume, and a lot higher levels, and more, those shorts to break and squeeze. We've got a ways to go, but we're not there yet. But I still believe we will be. Bill says, I'm in a lot of pain. He's suffering today. Bill says, I'm in a lot of pain. So sorry to hear. I'm telling the family now. I will be live in the morning for your birthday if you can join us. All right, there we go. Hopefully you are, yes, CVX. Let's have a look. Now this is, so no, I still 4%. I can't believe it. I'm still here in CVX, still down 4.32. I bought it too high. I just can't make any money from it. This is one that I'm going to sell because I need to raise the capital to clear margin, which I'm using for J&J. So, I've got some profit on Tesla now coming, Chevron coming. I'm not selling my Virgin Galactic. And I will trim J&J when it goes up in a sort of 5%. So, I can get rid of that margin quite quickly. But Chevron, I want to get out of this. I just bought too high. Stephen, how high do you think it's going to go? Am I going to get a profit from this or not? I mean, should I just sell it now for $53 loss? I mean, I've actually made money on it because I've earned several $15 dividend payments, which covers that $53. So I'm actually truly at a wash right now. What you're an oil man. What would you suggest? Would you say just get out of it? You're not going to get any more than this. This is as high as it goes. The target I had on this was $200. So, another $30 a share, and I got 7. That's like $210 profit. So what do you think? Plus the dividends that will come in. Ah, here he is. Bill's in the house. Struggling in pain. Oh, there he is. Bill's just popped in. There we go. Bill's here. Bill, I know you're in a lot of pain and you're suffering today. I just wanted to let you know that I will be here for you tomorrow. We did have a poll, and would you like an opening bell tomorrow and Friday? 76% says yes. I actually think that people are trying to be nice to me and give me a day off. I think that's what it is. But I would rather be busy and active and in a healthy environment with you guys. So, and it is Bill's birthday as well, and it's very, very important that. So I'm going to end it there, and I'm going to be here in the morning. Struggling. Hope you get better well soon. Feel better, Bill. There we go. Get well, Bill. Lovely sentiment. Get well, Bill. Lovely. Should go up a little more. CVX. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. I mean, people are saying, price targets of $200. Is that not? Did I just buy in at the wrong time? Obviously. Now you're the oil expert. You've followed this a lot. So, anyway, Hope you get better soon, Signor Piloto. Halt! Get well, Bill. I forgot it's my birthday. I'll be 68. You'll be 68 tomorrow. There you go. Get well, Bill. Yes, I voted no. You needed to enjoy your staycation. Ah, see. I knew that. I knew people had done that. Well, I've overruled you. I've overruled you. So, 13 minutes to go for Tesla. Very interesting to hear what Elon Musk has to say. I'm sure we're going to get mention of the war. I've got no doubt about that. I'm sure that's going to come into it. I'm sure that's going to happen. Anyway, I'm only down 1.5% now. I was down 10. I bought more, and it was down at 239 when I bought. It's now 246. So I've made a bit of money. Made about $50, I think, something like that. Older than me, Bill. Not by much, just less than a year. There we go. Ed Spitzer, what do you think will happen with the flight and earnings for space, both on November 2nd? Price drop coming. No, I actually think earnings will be good. I think earnings will be good. But the most important thing on the earnings, of course, is not how much money they've made, which, I mean, of course it is. It's the fact that they acknowledge our petition and say we are reducing spending. That's what we want to hear on the earnings. That's what I believe is going to happen. I believe on the earnings, you are going to hear mention of our petition and that we are reducing spending. I believe that. If that's the case, I'm going to be all over that earnings because I'll be extremely excited if they say that. Because, of course, that will be down to us and our action. And I think if they say we're cutting costs and our cash burn is being dramatically slowed, then I think we will get a good rally, honestly. So that's why I'm still in, despite what the idiots have said today. I'm still in, exactly as I said I was, and I haven't sold today. And there we go. In fact, I'm up another 200 shares. From where I was my original 4,000. Anyway, that's good. Good position. Anyway. J&J is up slightly after hours. I'm now down just 2% on J&J. My lowest price ever. 155 is my average. We're at 152.73. Very, very good. The company is infamous for dropping on good news. I'm vexed, Ed Spitzer. None of it makes any sense, does it? I know, I understand. Good news sometimes is bad news. Bad news is good. It's very hard to navigate the markets recently. Yes, bought at the wrong time, but oil should break $90 a barrel soon. CVX 87, break 90 a barrel soon. CVX 87 a barrel now. Okay. Thank you, Stephen. So I'm hoping to get a small profit on it. I bought at the wrong time, but let's hope I do. 10 minutes to go. Earnings for Tesla coming up imminently. Yes, I'm really excited about earnings, hearing about our petition. Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be good if they mentioned it? Wouldn't it be good if they mentioned my name? Wouldn't that be great? I don't expect that. And I'm only joking. But it would be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be great? It'd be great. I'd love it. Anyway. Hope you're right on Space Rally. I've got 2,300, which is a lot for me. Hey, it's a lot for anyone. There's the man who's amazing and out of this world. Rocket Martyn, how's it going? Tesla Jam booming. Bloody right, Tesla Jam's booming. Sam, it's lovely to see you here. Lovely to see you here. Absolutely wonderful to see you here. Really, really is. Love it. We're going to be here in the morning. It's Bill's birthday, of course. Bill's not very well at all. He's struggling. He's in a lot of pain. He's 68 years of age. He's got lots of issues right now. But Bill has been such a support to our channel. I had to come back tomorrow morning. Bill, Sensei will be doing the closing bell on Friday. So make sure that you, Thursday and Friday. So make sure that you pop in and see Sensei for the closing bells. There we go. Right. 8 minutes to go. I'm glad I bought at 239. Let's see what happens when Elon Musk starts to talk. Will it be another drop or will it be a nice rally? We shall see. We shall see. Not that long to go now. My portfolio is moving up. I'm at $51,000. Did you see space update? Good evening all. Crag. Yes, we were talking about space at the beginning of the show. Very, very heartfelt message to everyone today about the huge amounts of about spamming and trolling and offensive and lying and manipulative and truly disgusting people on my channel today on StockTwits and Reddit. And I addressed all of that at the beginning of the video. Anyway, we've got another flight, yes. Had some bad news today about my job. We sold 2.5 million lights, and this year we sold 500,000. People are being made redundant. But if we stay at these figures, then the company could close. I'm so sorry to hear that, Sam. Of course, we hate to hear anyone with any bad news, and I'm really, really sorry for you. You need to do what I did. Just become the piano man and just do your thing. I used to book 100 theatres a year for 8 years, and I didn't work for anybody. I worked for myself, as I still do today. You've got the talent, you've got the band, you've got the the commitment. Sam, just go it. Just do it. I left home at 16 years of age, never went home, and I built my business and went through ups and downs and struggles, but I booked every major theatre in Britain, 100 theatres a year for 8 years, including the Blackpool Grand, London Palladium, all the best theatres in the world. And I won some, I lost some, but when you got the talent and the conviction, and you're much younger than me right now, or you'll be much younger than me forever. Do it. You know, I never worked for anyone. If your passion is the music and your Elton John stuff, go out and do it. Don't take no for an answer. And people said to me I could never book the Mayflower in Southampton, never book the London Palladium. Well, guess I did all those things. The Blackpool Grand, after Joe Longthorne, 3 years in a row, Easter Sunday. People said, you'll never do it. You'll never book the Blackpool Grand. It's impossible. Only the Beatles and the Queen and the Royal Variety Performance play in venues like that. You won't do it. Well, I did it, and did it for 8 years, in fact. So, don't rely on anybody else. Sam, you got your show. Go out there and book it. There are ways to book theatres where you don't lose any money. Anyway, we've got 5 minutes to go before just like that saying follow, just like that saying follow your dream. So, well, see, I don't see it as a dream. I've never seen anything as dreams. I've seen them as realities. People that have dreams are just dreamers. I've never been a dreamer. I wanted to do something and I've done it. And the more people try to say I can't do it, the more I will drive to be successful. Don't dream about doing it. It makes me laugh when people say they'll go on the X Factor, or they'll go on Pop Idol, or they'll go on Britain's Got Talent, and they're like 16 years of age, and they'll say, I've dreamed about this my whole life. It's my life dream. I've been working at this all my life, and they're like 16 years of age. I was playing the piano when I was 4 years of age. I was out getting paid when I was 10, and I left home at 16. And I never said to anybody, it's been my lifelong dream. I just got on and did it. Don't tell anyone it's a dream. Just get on and do it. Get up tomorrow morning, book a theatre, design your posters, get out. I walked the streets of Blackpool with my showgirls, and I promoted the show until I sold the tickets. And I sold 2,500 seats at the Blackpool Grand. I filled it by myself. With me and my showgirls, walk the streets, walk the beaches of Blackpool. Same in Weymouth, same in Scarborough, same in Skegness, same in Weymouth. We walked the streets, Wimbledon in London, did Wimbledon. Got out there and did it. Anyway, that's what I do. It's not to say it's what you should do, but if you want to succeed, just do it. Just do it. It's easy, really. Wow, I say it's easy. It's easy if you're committed. Anyway. Okay, we are just about ready now for earnings. All right, the audio is coming through. The audio is coming through. We got 2 minutes to go. I'm listening in. I've got it all here. So, yeah, seriously, just do it. Life is very short. You can achieve anything you want to do. Just be honest with yourself. Just be honest. This is the thing. You have to go to people outside of your family circle to find out if the product that you have is something the general public want to buy. There's nothing worse. Asking your family and friends and your mum and your dad, Mum and Dad, am I really good? Should people pay $30 or £30 to see me in a theatre? They'll say yes. They're not going to fill the theatres. Go out and test it. Can you sell tickets to the general public? Can you sell your show to the general public? If the answer is yes, then get on and do it. If it's no and you can't sell tickets that cover the cost of your show and make any profit, and your mum and dad are your fans and your friends down the pub, then don't do it. I knew we had the second the most successful one-night touring theatre show in Britain. Number one was That'll Be the Day. And I knew I could sell it. And I knew people would come, and they did. And I kept on doing it for 8 years. So don't tell yourself you're great. Find out if you're great. Doesn't matter what you think of yourself. It's not important. You're not buying the tickets. Very important, that. Very important. Everybody thinks what they've got is great. Doesn't matter what you think. Does the public think what you've got is great? Then do it. And if you're booking your own theatres, make sure that you won't get a guarantee. You're not famous enough. But make sure that you get an 80-20 split. None of that 65-50-50 split. And get the first, and also get the first guarantee as well. And that's very easy to do. Just got to know your worth. All right. We're listening into Tesla. Tesla is playing the audio. We're listening. Don't book as many as you can. Book the theatres that sell. Do the research, Sam, on the right theatres. You could play in one town in one theatre, sell out, play in another theatre down the road, and in the same town, and sell no tickets. Do your research on the theatre. What audience, what customer base is in that venue? Very, very important. Otherwise, you'll just be losing money. Never lose money. Okay. Fatso Talks has got to go. We'll miss you. Earnings coming up. Any second now. Listening in. We're waiting. Their audio is muted. It's very strange. They've gone quiet. It's very odd. They've turned off their music and they're not saying anything. We're waiting. Tesla earnings moments away. Very peculiar. They've muted their audio, but they're not speaking. Never experienced that before. They're live and their phone is quiet. Very peculiar. They've stopped their music, but they're not speaking. They obviously have a phone line problem. Tesla's stock is going down, doesn't like this.
Meaningful room for improvement there. Regarding the meaningful room for improvement there, factories, and we believe
they lost the beginning of their audio.
New factories, and we believe there's still meaningful room for improvement there. Regarding autopilot and AI, our vehicles now driven over 500 million miles with FSD beta, full self-driving beta, and that number is growing rapidly. We recently completed a 10,000 GPU cluster of H100s. We think probably bringing it into operation faster than anyone's ever brought that much compute per unit time into production, since training is the fundamental limiting factor on progress with full self-driving and vehicle autonomy. We're also seeing significant promise with FSD version 12. This is the end-to-end AI where it's photon count in, controls out. Or really you can think of it as there's just a large bit stream coming in and a tiny bit stream going out, compressing reality into a very small set of outputs, which is actually kind of how humans work. The vast majority of human data input is optics from our eyes. And so we are, like the car, photons in, controls out, with neural nets, just neural nets in the middle. It's very interesting to think about that. We will continue to invest significantly in AI development, as this is really the massive game changer. And I mean, success in this regard in the long term, I think has the potential to make Tesla the most valuable company in the world by far. If you have fully autonomous cars at scale and fully autonomous humanoid robots that are truly useful, it's not clear what the limit is. Regarding energy storage, we deployed 4 gigawatt hours of energy of storage products in Q3. And as this business grows, the energy division is becoming our highest margin business. Energy and service now contribute over $500 million to quarterly profit. The Cybertruck, I know a lot of people are excited about the Cybertruck. I am too. I've driven the car. It's an amazing product. I do want to emphasize that there will be enormous challenges in reaching volume production with the Cybertruck, and then in making the Cybertruck cash flow positive. This is simply normal for when you've got a product with a lot of new technology, or any new vehicle, brand new vehicle program, but especially one that is as different and advanced as the Cybertruck. You will have problems proportionate to how many new things you're trying to solve at scale. So I just want to emphasize that while I think this is potentially our best product ever, and I think it is our best product ever, it is going to require immense work to reach volume production and be cash flow positive at a price that people can afford. Often people do not understand what is truly hard. That's why I say prototypes are easy, production is hard. People think it's the idea, or you make a prototype, you design a car, and it's not as though designing a car is that just anyone can do it. It does require taste. It does require effort to design a prototype. But the difficulty of going from a prototype to volume production is like 10,000% harder to get to volume production than to make the prototype in the first place. And then it is even harder than that to reach positive cash flow. That is why there have not been new car startups that have been successful for 100 years, apart from Tesla. So, I just want to temper expectations for Cybertruck. It's a great product, but financially, it will take, a year to 18 months before it is a significant positive cash flow contributor. I wish there was some way for that to be different, but that's my best guess. So really the demand is off the charts. We have over 1 million people who have reserved the car. So it's not a demand issue, but we have to make it, and we need to make it at a price that people can afford. Insanely difficult things. In conclusion, we continue to focus on ramping production while maintaining positive cash flow, and we continue to target and expect to have around 1.8 million vehicle deliveries, as stated earlier this year. The Tesla AI team is, I think, one of the world's best, and I think it is actually by far the world's best when it comes to real-world AI. I'll say that again. Tesla has the best real-world AI team on Earth, period. And it's getting better. And lastly, I wanted to thank all of our employees who are making a lot of extra effort during uncertain times. Thank you very much for your hard work and the impact that you're making.
Thank you very much, Elon. And our CFO, Vaibhav, have some opening remarks as well.
Thanks, Martyn. Our vehicle deliveries in Q3 outpaced production, and we had yet another record quarter of profitability in our energy business. Congratulations to the Tesla team for their continued focus on operational excellence as we navigate through a period of economic uncertainty, higher interest rates, and shifting consumer sentiment. As Elon mentioned, our Q3 operational and financial performance was impacted by planned downtimes for our factory upgrades. This was necessary to allow for further factory improvements and production rate increases. Despite such factory shutdowns, our cost per vehicle decreased to approximately $37,500. We saw sequential decreases in material costs and freight. Reducing the cost of our vehicles is our top priority. On the operating expenses front, R&D expenses continue to rise due to Cybertruck prototype builds and pilot production testing, combined with spend on AI technologies like full self-driving, Optimus, and Dojo. We have and will continue to make investments in these areas, and hence our capital expenditure and R&D will continue to grow in the near term. However, our focus is to continue making investments through positive cash flow from operations. This year itself, we have generated operating cash flows of approximately $8.9 billion, and free cash flows of approximately $2.3 billion. Our other businesses are becoming more prominent on a standalone basis, with energy business leading the charge primarily from the growth in megawatt deployments. Our services and other businesses on a year-on-year basis also continue to show positive momentum as we benefit from our growing fleet. As regards our pricing strategy, in addition to what we have shared before, I want to elaborate that most car buying happens with one or other form of financing, and hence we also view pricing in terms of monthly costs for the customer. And therefore, as interest costs in the US have risen substantially, it has required us to adjust the price of our vehicles to keep the monthly cost in parity. We've tried to offset such adjustments via our focus on reducing costs. However, there is an inherent lag in cost reductions, which in turn impacts margins. To that extent, we recently announced a partner vehicle leasing program in the US, whereby you can get a standard range Model Y for as low as $399 a month. In conclusion, as we navigate through a challenging economic environment, we're focused on reducing costs, maximizing delivery volumes, and continuing making investments in the future, in particular AI and other next-generation platforms. We believe this strategy positions us well for the long term. Once again, I would like to thank the Tesla team for their efforts in the last quarter.
Thank you very much. And now let's go to investor questions. The first investor question comes from Craig. How many Cybertruck deliveries do you anticipate for 2024?
It's difficult to make an accurate guess at this point. Going back to what I said earlier, that the ramp is going to be extremely difficult. Like I said, there's no way around that. If you try to make, if we just try to do some copycat vehicle design, of which there are literally 200 models that are slight variations on a theme in the combustion engine world, just distinctions without a difference, then it's really not that hard. But if you want to do something radical and innovative and something really special like the Cybertruck, it is extremely difficult because there's nothing to copy. You have to invent not just the car, but the way to make the car. So the more uncharted the territory, the less predictable the outcome. Now, I can say that if you say, well, where will things end up? I think we'll end up with roughly 250,000 Cybertrucks a year. But I don't think we're going to reach that output rate next year. I think we'll probably reach it sometime in 2025. That's my best guess.
Thank you. The second question is, can you provide a progress update on the 4680 cell, particularly progress towards performance improvements and cost savings outlined on Battery Day? Thank you.
Sure thing, Martin. 4680 cell production in Texas increased 40% quarter over quarter. Congrats to the Texas team for producing their 20 million cell off of line 1. Texas is now our primary 4680 facility. We're heavily focused on quality. Scrap is down 40% quarter over quarter. With the increased volume and yield improvements, cell costs consistently improved month over month within the quarter, although we have a lot more work to do to achieve our steady state goals. And that is our priority. The Cybertruck cell, with 10% higher energy than our Model Y cell, started production on line 2 in Texas. This quarter, we convert to building 100% Cybertruck cells to simplify and focus the factory as we ramp all 4 lines in phase 1 over the next 3 quarters. Phase 2 of the Texas 4680 facility is currently under construction. The additional 4 lines incorporate further capital efficiencies over phase 1, and our target is for them to start producing in late 2024. Lastly, in Cato, we're retooling to enable large-scale pilot runs of our next-generation cell designs. Cato's long-term goal is to be the launch pad for new cells, 1 generation ahead of our mass production facilities, enabling faster iteration and smoother ramp-ups of new designs.
Thank you. The next question from institutional investors, could you please provide an update on capacity expansion plans for companies' factories in Berlin and Austin, and the opening schedule of Gigafactory Mexico?
Berlin and Austin factory, the current priority is actually maximize the output from our existing lines by laser focus on efficiency improvements. As always, maintaining a high quality and reducing per unit cost will be as critical as growing the production volume. For Mexico, we're working on infrastructure and factory design in parallel with the engineering development of the new production that will be manufactured there. That's all I can share for that.
Yeah, in Mexico, we're laying the groundwork to begin construction and doing all the long lead items. But I think we want to just get a sense for what the global economy is like before we go full tilt on the Mexico factory. I'm worried about the high interest rate environment that we're in. I just can't emphasize this enough that for the vast majority of people, buying a car is about the monthly payment. And as interest rates rise, the proportion of that monthly payment that is interest increases naturally. So that's if interest rates remain high, or if they go even higher, it's that much harder for people to buy the car. They simply cannot afford it. And we are tracking, I believe, at this point for Model Y to be the best-selling car on Earth, but not just in revenue, but in unit volume. If you compare that to the other vehicles that are, number 2 and number 3 and whatnot, they cost much less than our car. We're just hitting law of large numbers situations here. I know people want us to advertise, and we are advertising. I think there is something to be gained on the advertising front. I don't think it's nothing, but informing people of a car that is great that they cannot afford doesn't really help. So that is really the thing that must be solved, is to make the car affordable, or the average person cannot buy it for any amount of money, or they simply can't afford it. They can't afford it. So this is a big deal.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is, when do you expect Model 3 Highland to be available in the US? I just wanted to address that, unfortunately, we don't answer product-related questions and timings on earnings calls, so let's go to the next one. Current sell-side consensus assumes that Tesla will deliver 2.3 million vehicles in 2024, representing 28% growth versus 2023 guidance. Is this growth rate achievable without any mass market launches in 2024? And when does Tesla expect to return to its 50% long-term CAGR?
Thanks for the question. When we look at 2024, there are a lot of moving pieces. Elon just talked about what is happening in the macroeconomic environment. So we're focused on growing our volumes in a very cost-efficient manner and are carefully reviewing all our options, and we'll be able to provide a much more meaningful update at our next earnings call.
Yeah, I mean, the risk of stating the obvious, it is not possible to have a compound growth rate of 50% forever, or you will exceed the mass of the known universe. But I think we will grow very rapidly, much faster than any other car company on Earth by far.
Thank you. Next question is, do you have an approximate timeline in mind for the robotaxi, driven or non-driven? What excites you most about how this project is progressing?
Well, the robotaxi is necessarily non-driven. I guess I'm very excited about our progress with autonomy. The end-to-end, nothing but nets, self-driving software is amazing. I drives me all around Austin with no interventions. So it's clearly the right move. So it's really pretty amazing. And obviously that same software and approach will enable Optimus to do useful things and enable Optimus to learn how to do things simply by looking. So, extremely exciting in the long term. As I mentioned before, given that economic output is number of people times productivity, if you no longer have a constraint on people, effectively you've got a humanoid robot that can do as much as you'd like. Your economy is quasi infinite, or infinite for all intents and purposes. So, and I don't think anyone's going to do it better than Tesla, not by a long shot. Boston Dynamics is impressive, but their robot lacks a brain. Sort of like the Wizard of Oz or whatever. Yeah, lacks a brain. And then you also need to be able to design the humanoid robot in such a way that it can be mass manufactured. And then at some point, the robots will manufacture the robots. Now, obviously, we need to make sure that there's a good place for humans in that future, and we do not create some variant of the Terminator outcome. So we're going to put a lot of effort into localized control of the humanoid robot. So basically anyone will be able to shut it off locally, and you can't change that even if you with like a software update. You can't change that. It has to be hard coded.
Thank you. The next question is, why was the price dropped on FSD if it is getting better and robotaxi is expected so soon?
Well, we just wanted to make it more affordable, so more people could try it. I think over time the price of FSD will increase proportionate to its value. So I would regard the current price as a kind of a temporary low.
Thank you. The next question is again on FSD. Mercedes is accepting legal liability for when its level 3 autonomous driving system Drive Pilot is active. Is Tesla planning to accept legal liability for FSD? And if so, when?
Well, there's a lot of people that assume we have legal liability, judging by the lawsuits. We're certainly not being let off the hook on that front, whether would like to or wouldn't like to. So,
I mean, I think it's important to remember for everyone that Mercedes' system is limited to a few roads in Nevada and some certain cities in California. It doesn't work in the snow or the fog. It must have a lead car, marked lanes, only 40 miles per hour. Our system is meant to be holistic and drive in any conditions, so we obviously have a much more capable approach, but with those kind of limitations, it's really not very useful.
I think some people understand the profundity of the Tesla AI system, mostly but very, very few. It's basically baby AGI. It has to understand reality in order to drive. Baby AGI.
Thank you. The next question on Optimus. Will Optimus be working on Gigafactory lines next year? If so, how many would you guess will be deployed?
I think at this point we are not ready to discuss details of the Optimus program, but we will provide periodic updates online. So as you can see, where Optimus a year ago could barely walk, and now it can do yoga. So a few years from now, it can probably do ballet.
Sounds good. And the last question from investors is, neural net path planning represents a significant advance in capability and safety for FSD. What steps is Tesla taking to make this technology available outside the US?
Yeah, our approach has been to try to get it, like the more places we try to make it work, the harder the problem is. So the reason we don't do it in all countries simultaneously is that it would take much longer to make it work anywhere at all. So that's why it's currently just North America. And also for most parts of the world, you have to get approval before deploying things, whereas in the US, you can deploy things at risk, or at least you take liability for what you deploy. So it's whereas most countries require some sort of extensive approval program. So we only want to go through that extensive approval program when we think it's kind of ready for prime time in that country. I apologize that it's not in those countries, but we keep finding ways to make it better, and it needs to drive. It needs to drive such that it exceeds the even unsupervised, significantly exceeds the probability of injury of a human. Like, significantly better, a lower probability of injury than a human by far. I think we're tracking to that point very quickly. Obviously, in the past, I've been overly optimistic about this. The reason I've been overly optimistic is that the progress tends to sort of look like a log curve, which is that you have kind of rapid initial improvements, that if you were to extrapolate that sort of rapid, fairly linear rate of improvement, you get to self-driving quite quickly, but then the rate of improvement curves over logarithmically and starts to asymptote. That's now happened several times. I would characterize our progress in real-world AI as a series of stacked log curves. I think that is also true in other parts of AI, like LLMs and whatnot. Series of stacked log curves. Each log curve gets higher than the last one. So if you keep stacking them, keep stacking logs, eventually you get to FSD.
Thank you. Let's now go to analyst questions. The first question comes from Will Stein from Truist. Will, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Great. Thanks so much for taking my question, and thanks for all the updates today. We learned earlier in the call, it sounds like you don't think the truck will ramp to significant volume until its third year of production. Should we have a similar anticipation for the ramp of the next-gen platform, or is there any reason that we should be maybe more optimistic or pessimistic about the ramp profile there? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, it's not really the third year of production. It's kind of like the 18th month of production is roughly my guess. So it's just that it'll happen is that it starts this year, spans next year, and gets to 2025. So technically there are 3 calendar years in there, but there's actually only 18 months, not 3 years. I would be very disappointed if it took us, and that would be shocking if it took us 3 years. But 18 months from initial deliveries to reach volume and reach prosperity with an immense, I can't tell you how much the blood, sweat, and tears level required to achieve that is just staggering. I've been through it many times, and then here we go again.
Similar path for the next-gen platform?
I mean, there's like unique complexity to Cyber.
Yeah. I mean, Cybertruck is. Yeah, I mean, we dug our own grave with Cybertruck. Nobody, in general, nobody digs their grave better than themselves, and so it is Cybertruck is one of those special products that comes along only once in a long while. And special products that come along once in a long while are just incredibly difficult to bring to market, to reach volume, to be prosperous. It's fundamental to the nature of the newness. So now the sort of high volume, low cost, smaller vehicle is actually much more conventional.
In terms of like the technologies we're putting into it, we didn't have to invent how to bend full hard stainless steel or have mega 9,000 ton castings or the largest hot stamping in the world or new high voltage.
Revolutionary quite in the same way as the Cybertruck. I think it will be quite a fast ramp. So as Lars was saying, we're doing everything possible to simplify that vehicle in order to achieve a units per minute level that is unheard of in the auto industry.
Yeah, I mean, the simplification makes it easier to automate. It also makes it lower cost.
Yeah,
it's the intrinsically lower cost.
Yeah. Let's be clear: it'll be cool, but it's utilitarian. It's not meant to be, fill you with, awe and magic. It's can get you from A to B. It'll be still beautiful, but it's utilitarian. It's a utility.
Doesn't have 14 inches of travel in its suspension.
Yeah, as an example. Yeah. So, the Cybertruck has a lot of bells and whistles.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go to Pierre Ferragut from New Street Research.
Hey, can you hear me fine? Yes?
Yes.
Hey, I have first a follow-up question on FSD and pricing and adoption. So I agree with you that as FSD improves, we should see its value increasing. But I guess the ultimate value of FSD, which is to be able to handle a robo-taxi, is not going to necessarily interest everybody. And you have a bit of a degraded version that would be like a chauffeur service where the car drives by itself, but you still have to be in the car and around. And then there is the hands-on, eyes-on version of the service. And I guess, there should be much lower cost, lower feature kind of variants of the service that could have a very large penetration on your install base and more expensive one that would remain at a lower penetration level. So I'm just wondering if you're taking that. And last but not least, the simplest version of FSD are available and are going to work from a technical perspective probably before the ultimate robotaxi version can work, if ever. And so I'm wondering how you take that into account in how you're thinking the financial contribution of FSD over time, and whether you could evolve your pricing along that kind of tiers to increase adoption.
Yeah, a fully autonomous vehicle, I think here sort of the economics of a fully autonomous vehicle are truly astounding. in a positive way. When you look at passenger vehicles today, they only get about 10 to 12 hours of usage per week. That's, if you drive an hour and a half a day on average, that's roughly 10 hours a week out of 168 hours. And then there's also, you got to have parking and insurance. You got to take care of the car. It's like there's a lot of overhead. So, I mean, it's like the economics of the system are just insanely positive. If given that the car, like all of the cars we're making and have made for a while, we believe are capable of full autonomy. So then if you're able to, say, increase the utility of that car by, I don't know, a factor of 5, which still only means that it's being used for maybe 50 hours a week out of 168. So you're still assuming that still assumes less than a third of the hours of the week is doing something useful. You've increased the value of that by 5, but it still costs the same. Like you have something, then we're a hardware company with software margins.
Pierre, do you have a follow-up?
Yes, I'd have actually a follow-up on a different topic for you, Eberhard, if that's okay. It's about like your gross margin in the quarter. Could you give us a sense of like in how the gross margin evolved sequentially? How much was the impact of idle costs? How much was like the sequential benefit, I imagine, of production ramping at Berlin and Austin? And then I saw like this massive jump in energy storage, very strong positive surprise. So if you can give us the background on that and tell us, how we should think about that gross margin going forward.
Pierre, thanks for that question. So in terms of, you have a few different aspects of your question. So if I just look at from Q3 perspective, obviously factory idle time had an impact. It did impact by, I won't give you the exact percentage, but it had decent impact for the quarter. And, when you look at the other pieces which we're trying to do, we did see certain of our other factories ramping up pretty well, right? And they actually contributed pretty well to the margin for this quarter. In fact, one of the factories came pretty close to, in terms of per unit costs, to where we are for one of our other established factory, which is Fremont. So that was a positive in the quarter. And when it comes to energy margins, Megapack deployment was the key driver there. And that product has done well. On the cost curve also, we've been able to do a lot there. But I do want to caution that, Megapack deployments are a bit lumpy. So yes, we had a great quarter this period, but depending upon where we are trying to deploy that product in different markets, you would see periods wherein there would be downward pressure on deployment because of us trying to get the product to that place where
product in transit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to Rod Lash from Wolf Research. Rod, feel free to unmute yourself.
Thanks. Really nice to see the rate of vehicle cost improvement despite the downtime that you took. You've taken now about $2,000 out of the average vehicle cost over the past year. Can you give us maybe a sense of the rate of improvement that you see from the changes that you alluded to, the factory changes you alluded to? Is there a way maybe to convey the speed of improvement on your existing product from here? And then related to that, can you share the timing of your next gen, the lower priced product that you talked about earlier this year?
Yeah, so just in terms of product margins, there are lots of puts and takes when you look into this. There are certain things which we control, and there are certain things which we don't control. we expect that we'll get some benefits from our cost reduction efforts, which are all underway. But on the other hand, we just finished our factory upgrades late in Q3. Some of these factories are still in the early ramp phase in Q4. We're still not up to where we want those factories to be, so they'll impact in the near term. Plus, like Elon mentioned, we're going to be ramping Cybertruck, which is going to be another headwind which we'll be dealing with. On top of all that, there's overall uncertainty in the macroeconomic environment, which even makes it harder to predict precisely as to where we land. But yes, this is something which, it's an evolving thing which we're observing every day and reacting to it on a daily basis.
I would just say that on the cost reduction efforts, like we are unflagging in our pursuit of additional cost downs for 2024. We do have a good pipeline of them and work on both the engineering side and the factory operations side. And, our intention is to maintain or exceed the trend that you saw. We're trying as hard as we possibly can.
The timing of the next gen product, can you share that?
Not at this time.
Okay. And just as a follow-up, obviously price is also a driver of demand, but that's obviously not happening in a vacuum. And you mentioned that, I think you mentioned it at some point during this call, that you're also maybe hitting the law of large numbers on some of your products. Can you just share how you're thinking about price elasticity just at this point and in this macro environment, and any thoughts along those lines?
I think that there's very significant price elasticity. To be totally frank, if our car costs the same as a RAV4, nobody would buy a RAV4. Or at least they're very unlikely to. It's worth noting that a lot of these incentives, like the tax credit and whatnot, they're actually very difficult for the average person to access because most people do not have 10 grand, or even $7,500 burning a hole in their bank account. Large number of people are living paycheck to paycheck and with a lot of debt. They've got credit card debt, mortgage debt. So that's reality for most people. It's sometimes difficult for people who are high income earners, and I'd say high would be like someone who's earning over $200,000 a year, to understand what life is like for someone who is earning $50 or $60 or $70,000 a year, which is most people. So that for a lot of people, these tax credits just they can't front $7,500 for 18 months or even 6 months to get for the tax credit, and they actually don't. It's okay to even have that. Then I have $7,500 in taxes. So, it's really just the vast majority of people is how much money do they have to pay immediately and how much per month. That's it. And you can stop right there. And our car is still much more expensive than a RAV4 when you look at it that way.
One other thing which I'll add, when you look at, car buying in general, we're trying to get to the next set of EV adapters. And
not an EV adapter, just
next.
Who wants a great car?
Exactly.
It's not sometimes you get these honestly, I'd say it's somewhat correlates with the why doesn't everyone work from home crowd. I'm like, this is some real Marie Antoinette vibes from people that say, why doesn't everyone work from home? What about all the people that have to come to the factory and fill the cars? What about all the people that have to go to the restaurant and make your food and deliver your food? It's what are you talking about? How detached from reality does the work from home crowd have to be? While they take advantage of all those who cannot work from home. So, you have to say, why did I sleep in the factory so many times? Because it mattered. So, I just can't emphasize how important cost is. It's not an optional thing for most people. It is a necessary thing. We have to make our cars more affordable so people can buy it. And I keep harping on this interest thing, but I mean, it just raises the cost of the car. I mean, we're looking at an internal analysis, which I don't know we think is more or less on track. That when you look at the cost or the price reductions we've made in, say, the Model Y, and you compare that to how much people's monthly payment has risen due to interest rates, the price of the Model Y is almost unchanged.
If you factor in the change in interest rates.
Yes, which is that's what I'm trying to say. The thing that matters is the monthly pay. It's how much money do they have to put down, and do they literally have that in their bank account, or will the check bounce? And then what is the monthly payment? And it doesn't matter if that monthly payment is principal, interest, or whatever. It's just a number, and that number has to not cause their bank account to go negative. That's it. So, going from near zero interest rates to the current very high interest rates, the actual monthly payment is basically the same. It's just a bunch more of it is going to interest. And there are some incremental challenges beyond that, which is the difficulty of getting credit at all has increased. And so the number of people who simply cannot get credit, period. Even if they've got a job and everything's solid, the banks are, a little gun shy on handing out credit, given that a bunch of them kicked the bucket earlier this year.
Yeah, there's also just fewer options. Even if they want to hand out credit, there's fewer banks to go to.
It's like, does your bank still exist?
Yeah.
Well, if your bank does not exist, you have to establish a relationship with a new bank. So a lot of regional banks are, died. And I mean, even Credit Suisse, I mean, geez, that was a shocker. Got a 160-year-old-ish Swiss institution that doesn't exist anymore. That's mind-blowing. And I think there's still quite a few shoes to drop on the bad credit situation. Commercial real estate obviously is in terrible shape. Credit card debt has been rising significantly. The credit card interest rates are usurious. Over 20% interest rates, meaning which over time it becomes obviously extremely punishing. Because if somebody's paying 20% interest on their credit cards, it means they cannot pay them off. Now, if you cannot pay them off and you're still accruing interest at 20%, that's headed to a bad place.
Thank you. Let's go to next question from George from Canaccord.
Thank you for taking my question. Just to focus on the cost per vehicle, coming down in future quarters, as you discussed in your written remarks. I'm curious as to what the levers of that could be. Is it more scale, more factory utilization? Is it material cost reductions? Is it things like gigacasting? I mean, could you just kind of give us some data points to give us confidence that that's going to come down over time? And if I can sneak one in, please. There are press reports, and I know how perilous it is to believe some of these, but they say that you've included radar as an option in some Model Ys in China, and I'm just here to ask if that's true, and if so, why? Thank you.
We've not included radar. We have radar as a Tesla designed radar as an experiment in the Model S and X. That's it. We'll see whether that experiment is worth it. But there are no plans to integrate radar into 3 and Y. Just as humans drive well, and in fact, an excellent human driver can drive with amazing safety simply with their eyes. The car will far exceed the average human safety just with vision, far. Because I mean, the car is looking in all directions at once, and we don't have eyes in the back of our head. So, the computer never gets tired, and never gets distracted, get drunk, hopefully. So radar is, it's not. What really matters is how much does it affect the probability of an accident, and in order for the radar to be effective, you have to be able to do radar-only braking, or you have to do actions that are radar-only. Otherwise, you get this disambiguation problem between vision and radar. That's why we actually turned off the radar in cars historically that we had shipped. All 3 and Y used to have radar, but we turned it off because the radar actually generated more noise than signal. Now, the Tesla designed radar is a high-resolution radar that has some potential to be useful, but the jury is still very much out on whether that is in fact the case.
On the cost question, I guess from the vehicle side, like, as Drew mentioned earlier, we are always trying to engineer our products to be cheaper to make and more efficient to make. That comes obviously on the engineering side as we come up with new innovations, but as well on the supply chain side with our partners. We work with them to automate some of their lines, remove their bottlenecks and their high costs as well. On the logistics side, getting parts to the factory. It's not go ahead. It's not like a one thing that you have to attack cost everywhere, and we do it ruthlessly at all times.
Operations efficiency, all of the above.
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's a whole laundry list of things which we are chasing. We internally call it the cost attack, where we're literally going line by line and saying, how can we make it better? And it's a grind.
It's a grind.
It's time.
It's a game of pennies. It's like Game of Thrones, but pennies. First approximation, if you've got a $40,000 car, and roughly 10,000 items in that car, that means each thing on average costs $4. So in order to get the cost down, say by 10%, you have to get 40 cents out of each part on average. It is a game of pennies.
We play it willingly.
We play it.
Yeah,
religiously.
We've done it many times, even something as simple as like a sticker. There's too many stickers internally in the car that nobody ever sees. There's something as simple as a QR code. You might think, well, putting a QR code on part, why not just put them on there? It's like, well, are we actually going to use that QR code?
Costs a penny.
Yeah, exactly. And then inevitably, sometimes the QR code doesn't go on properly, or you can't read it properly, and then it stops the line.
Costs more than a penny.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's chipping away with it. I mean, it is trying to. It does feel like digging a tunnel with a spoon at times.
Very much escaping prison.
Yeah.
On top of it, like we said, we did some factory upgrades, so we expect volume to go up. That would also bring some savings from higher production. But then on the flip side, we're going to be ramping a new product like Cybertruck, which we talked about. So those are the real puts and takes which we are working through.
Yeah, but there's not like some accidentally, some brick of gold that we've gotten left in the car, unfortunately. And it's, we're trying to be very rigorous about improving the quality and capability of the car, because it's like any fool can reduce the cost of a car by making it worse, and just deleting functionality and capability, and that's how cool this sort of any fool. It's like if you want to lose weight and you say, well, I need to lose 15 pounds right away. Well, you could chop your arm off, but then you're sitting there with one arm, you're still fat. so it's sort of like,
you gotta work at it.
Yeah, you actually have to eat less food and work out. That's the actual way. And
Doctor's advice.
yeah, it's not super fun because food is delicious. And I personally am not I don't love working out. I know some people do. I wish I did, but I don't. Unless moving the mouse consists of working out, in which case I love moving the mouse.
All right, let's go to Colin Langham from Wells Fargo. Colin, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, sorry about that. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, great. Thanks for taking my question. You said in the commentary that you're not going full tilt on the plant in Mexico until there's signs that the economy is strong. Can you continue at a 50% CAGR without that plant? And where would that come from? And any color on what you mean sort of not going full tilt? Could that plant get delayed indefinitely? Or what are we kind of talking about?
No, we're definitely making the factory in Mexico. We feel very good about that. We put a lot of effort into looking at different locations, and we feel very good about that location. And we are going to build a factory there, and it's going to be great. The question is really just one of timing, and I'm just going to be a broken record on the interest front. It's just the interest rates have to come down. Like if interest rates keep rising, you just fundamentally reduce affordability. It is just the same as increasing the price of the car. So I just don't have visibility into. If you can tell me what the interest rates are, I can tell you when we should build the factory. We're going to build it, and I think we'll start the initial phases of construction next year. But I am still somewhat scarred by 2009 when General Motors and Chrysler went bankrupt. So, well, that's now 14 years ago. That is seared into my mind with a branding iron. Because Tesla was just hanging on by a thread during that entire time, and and we closed off a financing round in 2008 at 6 p.m. December 24th, Christmas Eve. And if we had not closed that financing round, we would have bounced payroll 2 days after Christmas. So we actually closed that round on the last hour of the last day that it was possible. Stressful, to say the least. And then barely made it through 2009. So I'm like, I want to I don't want to be going at top speed into uncertainty. A lot of wars going on in the world, obviously, as well.
And we have room here, like in Giga, Texas. You said we still have room in this building. It's not full with Cybertruck and Model Y, and there's plenty of growth opportunities still to have inside the building where our team already is.
We also have 2,000 acres here.
So there's also a bunch more.
We're actually only occupying a tiny corner of the land that we have. So we could technically do all the scaling necessary just here. Personnel is our biggest challenge in that the greater Austin area only has, generously, the greater Austin area only has 2 million people. So people are moving here, and they're willing to move here, but there is somewhat of a housing crisis. They got to live somewhere.
Okay,
So I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm not saying things will be bad. I'm just saying they might be, and I think Tesla is an incredibly capable ship, but if we need to make sure if the macroeconomic conditions are stormy, even if the best ship is still going to have tough times, the weaker ships will sink. We're not going to sink, but even a great ship in a storm has challenges. Now, that storm will apply to everyone, not just us, and not just the auto industry. It'll apply to everyone, I think. So, apart from necessary sort of staples like food and stuff, but so I don't know. If interest rates start coming down, we will accelerate.
All right.
If anybody's got any guesses on this, I'd love to be less wrong. And I apologize if I'm perhaps more paranoid than I should be, because that might also be the case, because I have PTSD from 2009, big time. And in 2017 through 19 were not picnic either. That was very, very tough going. So, the auto industry is also somewhat cyclic. It's because, people tend to hesitate to buy a new car if there's uncertainty in the economy. So it's, car companies do very well in good economic times, and they don't do as well in tough economic times. So it's just, whereas if somebody's selling bread, then I think, that people still need to have bread. Yeah. Yeah, you need bread. You need food all the time. But new car, you don't have to have right this minute.
Especially if there are wars going on, and then that impacts your sentiment.
Yeah. I mean, if people are reading about wars all over the world, buying a new car tends to not be front of mind.
All right. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Thank you very much for all of your good questions, and we'll see you again in 3 months. Thank you very much.
There we go. Another earnings from Tesla. Well, what do we unpack from that? During that earnings call, I was buying on the way down. I was nearly out of Tesla, took my profit after the last earnings call. And during that, I was getting back in again. So I had a couple of shares left, and I was down 10% before the earnings. In fact, yes, before the earnings, then the price came down, as you can see, dramatically, and I was buying all on the way down. So now I've got 15 shares of Tesla. I'm down at 4.73. So I overall like it. I think let's bring this back on the screen here. There we go. I like what I heard. Elon Musk, extremely connected and sensitive and aware of the global economy, fully aware of the bigger issue, fully aware of interest rates. And I thought that was a very interesting mention about 2009 as well, talking about how other, automakers went bankrupt. I think he's very aware of trying to go too quickly. So I think people are getting a little bit frustrated that, the Cybertruck isn't ramping. That's kind of where the price started to go down. But actually, they've kind of forgot the fact that in November, 1 month from now, deliveries of the Cybertruck is going to happen. That completely overshadowed when he mentioned that it won't ramp up and be, a profitable or big profitable part of Tesla. And from that moment, the share price went down. So it presented me the opportunity to buy in. So I did. As you can see, I had hardly any shares. I think I had 3 or 4. I've now got 14, 15, in fact, because I have a couple on the Roth. So I'm, for my portfolio, heavily back in on Tesla. Buying at 234, 235, 233, and I'm happy to do that. I think it was a good earnings. Things are improving. He's fully aware of the situation, and I think it's a great company. I'm really glad to hear that the power has taken more of a position. Solar, I think that's really, really important. As he mentioned, they've got still plenty of capacity to ramp up where they are without going to Mexico. They've got plenty of land to expand there, which they'll do with their power walls and everything else to create more power. So that's all good. So as far as I'm concerned, it's all good as it can be in the current climate that we are in. So I am happy with that result. I am happy. I'm happy to be able to get back in again. So there you go. What do you think? Let's hear from you. Let's hear your comments on the screen. He seemed to really understand what's going on, and I thought there was quite an emotional moment there as well when he talked about the work from home saga, and he talked about the way he lived on the factory floor, and you could tell actually for a moment I thought he was going to cry. Actually, you know, you hear very different things from Elon Musk that you don't hear from Tim Cook. He's not just the CEO, he's the guy that actually builds it, he's the guy that actually invents it. And I am very pleased today that I've been able to buy Tesla, because if we actually look back over 3 months since the last earnings call, we're down 19%, and their earnings is up, they're improving, and so on. And I'm now just 4.8% down. So despite we've dropped 20%, I sold it here and bought it back, and I'm down 4.89%. I'm very happy, and I've got a decent size now, sort of 14, maybe 16 shares if you include my Roth. So I'm okay with that. It might drop further, and if it does, I'll buy a bit more, but it's a difficult one. Are you happy with the Tesla earnings tonight? What do you think of that? Anyway, going to get off. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll put this together as a video by itself later on. Tomorrow is Bill's birthday, and we want to celebrate Bill's birthday. He's one of our biggest supporters and fans of our show, so we do want to support Bill tomorrow for his birthday. So I'll see you back tomorrow morning for the opening bell. I want to be here after Tesla earnings, and to see if I can pick up some more if it does go to, you know, under $200, which it may do. I don't know. It shouldn't do, because the Tesla Cybertruck's coming out in November. Just not ramping up as fast as everybody would like, but it's certainly moving in the right direction, and that pleases me as an investor. All right, so very, very good. I look forward to seeing you all for the closing bell in the morning. Let's get out of here. Let's bring in the sound effects, and let's get out of here. That's it from me. Let's bring up the end screen, and let's see who's still with me. All right. Okay, let's roll the credits. Do we have any credits to roll? I don't think so, but we'll have a little look. Let's see if we've got anything to celebrate tonight. Stars of our show tonight. Super chats. Yes, we had a super chat, so very, very important to mention that. Thank you, Seth, for your super chat tonight. Much, much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed for your support of the channel. Thank you very much for listening to me express my feelings tonight when the show started, as was a very difficult day online with all the idiots. And yeah, there you go. But thank you for joining me tonight. Another earnings, another day, another dollar, up or down, I don't know. Perhaps you let me know. Let's do, have we got time? Day trader of the day, have we? All right, it's a bad day today for most people. I'm down 3.77 today. It's a big red day for me. Day trader of the day. Make sure that you're up to date. You've got a few seconds to go. Click the like button, come up to date, do two times speed, and you can be there with me. Down 3. Whoa, hello. Let's move that down out the way. There you go. Let's get it down there. Down 3.77. We'll get it out the way. There you go. Any advances on 3.77 down? Anybody? Let's have a quick look, see how we're doing. Tesla's now 233.25. I bought it at 233 a moment ago, so dropping a bit more. Down 0.48. That's much better. Very nice indeed. Stephen Lewandowski down 0.48. Very nice. Stephen wins. Give it a couple of seconds. Down 0.02, said James. It's got to be a good. Got to be a winner. Very, very good. Very nice indeed. down 2.25 and down 5.82 on the Roth. Okay, I'm going to give it to James. Congratulations, James. Thank you for your honest trades. I think you are the winner tonight. That's it from me. And as always, see you back in the morning for the opening bell. I am coming back from my holiday tomorrow. I'm still on holiday for another few weeks, but it's Bill's birthday. Take care of your money, yourselves, each other, and all the rest of it. Happy birthday to Bill in the morning. Bye-bye for now.